Well, good morning and welcome to today's episode of The Word. I am glad that you are with me this morning. We are talking about the final stages of being ready to run the marathon. And we want to be encouraged by the grace that God has given to us. We want to receive this really awesome oomph, if you will, for what is about to happen because we're in it for the long haul, right? So we'll talk more about that, and we'll talk about what God has given to us in the grace and the mercy He has given. And we will be right back. There you are, right back. Well, welcome back to our episode of The Word today. We are getting encouraged and strengthened by what God has given to us, the strength and the mercy He presents. And what better way than to rely on the quote-unquote cloud of witnesses that have been set up for us. What do I mean by that? There is a significant amount of people who ran the life that God had called them to run. There is a significant number of people, and we're going to look at the end result of the list that the writer to the Hebrews writes. And we're going to look at that and saying, from all of these people, you have the encouragement to cast off all that is holding you back, to throw it all away, and to come forward and to run this marathon. So I encourage you now to grab your Bibles, whether they paper or electronic, and I'm going to grab my paper right here, and we're going to turn to Hebrews chapter 12. We're going to be just looking at the first two verses. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Okay, are we ready? Excellent. So here we go. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So great of a cloud of witnesses. What cloud is he talking about? Is he talking about the cloud where we store all of our data and everything else like that? No. He's talking about the cloud of witnesses, the number of witnesses that he listed throughout the entire chapter 11. So, what I'd like you to do is to read through chapter 11 of Hebrews. You don't have to do it now, just do it as a background information, because what I'm going to go with is from that moment. So, from that cloud of witnesses. Now, each and every one of them had his or her, there's a couple of hers in that list, by the way, challenges that they faced because of their faith and trust in God. Is that not the same thing with us? And they continue to fight through. They had the God strength. And that ultimately is the key element to all of this. The strength that God gives to us. So let us go forth and throw off all that hinders us. What hinders us? Fear. Fear of what? Fear of reprisals, fear of sadness, fears of anger, fears of people being PO'd at us. I think I said that already. Anyway, fear of not knowing everything that we need to know. We've gone over this before. since we have such a cloud of witnesses, a cloud of martyrs, a cloud of testimonials, whatever, however you want to say it, because that's all what it all means. Since we have what they have done, we can say, you know what? What little itty bitty I got to face is nothing compared to what they faced. What challenges I might face because of my walk with Christ, think about what they went through. And they went through. They didn't wrap around. They didn't run away and hide. They went through it. They lived their lives as Christian, godly people. And that's our witness. That's our witness. And the most important part of all of it is we have the example of Jesus himself and what he did. That is what we're telling. That is what we're living out. That is what we're moving forward with. No more holding back. No more staying still, because you know what happens when you stand still? You lose ground. We are moving forward. It doesn't have to be by leaps and bounds. No, it can be a steady push forward, pushing against the world and pushing against Satan and pushing him backwards for a change. How about that one? We're pushing him backwards with a proclamation of the gospel. We're shedding and showing the light that comes from God, the light that radiates throughout the world, that light that is no longer hidden on a hill, that we don't put a veil over it, we don't put a lid over it, we let it out and let that light radiate into the hearts of men, because it's that light that is the true conversion factor. It is the light of the gospel of Jesus Christ that causes it to happen. I'll have more on this later this morning during our time of worship. I'm looking forward to seeing you then. Where are you? Oh, there you are. And looking forward to seeing you sharing the gospel. We are sharing Holy Communion today. So be with us, and we'll see you soon.